This is a Government Week in Review for the week ending Friday, October 6, 2023. I am Sherry-Ann Noel. In the headlines, Finance Minister underscores importance of financial discipline as government prepares for Budget 2024. Details to this and more when we return.
Prepare for hurricane. Prepare for hurricane. Make sure you have your radio and your batteries too. Waterproof flashlight candles will do. Tin stuff, garbage bag, first aid kit. Come on people, make sure you have it. Clean water in a container and a hurricane plan. Hear me no man.
Hurricane damage is beyond your control. Surviving the aftermath is up to you. Have a hurricane plan. It can save your life and your family too.
Prepare for hurricane. Your hair, prepare for hurricane.
Welcome back. Finance Minister Honorable Dennis Cornwall has highlighted the importance of prudence and financial discipline in keeping with guidelines from monitoring agencies like the World Bank and the IMF. He was speaking at a national consultation on Friday to bring the curtains down on stakeholder and public consultations as government continues preparations for the next budget cycle.
Not everything can be done in one budget cycle, and so, of necessity, we need to strike the right balance among competing priorities. It goes without saying that the national budget must prioritize the interests of the Grenadian people. The policies, programs, and initiatives from it through the budget should aim to provide real and lasting solutions to the challenges faced by our nation. This is why rigorous rounds of consultation with various stakeholders, groups, and are crucial in the budget presentation process to ensure that the budget is not tone deaf or insensitive to people and nation need. Ladies and gentlemen, to achieve our vision and transformative development, we must work together hand in hand. We must never forget that teamwork makes the dream work. The National Sustainable Development Plan 2035, along with medium-term action plan, strategically and comprehensively guide our efforts towards achieving our 2035. It is imperative that we root all activities in the holistic, integrated measure of balance, inclusive, and sustainable manner to ensure medium and long-term prosperity.
Recommendations and feedback from the series of public consultations held throughout the month of September into October were discussed. Government has listed 13 areas of focus, including health, education, the creative economy, agriculture, and housing. Chief Policy Analyst in the Macro Policy Unit in the Ministry of Finance, Ms. Tonya Adams, highlighted the feedback from both the stakeholders and public consultations, which she says encapsulates all of government's focus areas.
There was a call for community involvement in the maintenance of national security and safety. There was also a call for increased use of digital technology in the penalization and prosecution of offenses, particularly persons to the use of cameras to catch speeding motorists, or greater security technology to prevent theft and piracy in the community of the fisher folks. We want to also, there was also a call for greater protection against natural disasters. And through that, the establishment of a NADMA substation in St. Andrews. There was also a call for improved border control, and this was through increased Coast Guard's patrol, improve capacity to manage the registration of large vessels in Grenada, and providing training and safety at sea.
Other recommendations were improvement of border control, improvement of health infrastructure, greater youth involvement in agriculture, creation of special education facilities for adults, and improvement of school infrastructure. The date for the presentation of the 2023-2024 estimates of revenue and expenditure will be announced in the coming weeks. Grenada's Prime Minister, Honorable Deacon Mitchell, has signed an air service agreement with Qatar, which highlights that the national carriers of both countries will be able to operate an unlimited number of passenger and cargo flights with full transportation rights. The agreement was signed on Tuesday, October 3, 2023. Qatar's Minister for Transport and Prime Minister Mitchell also engaged in dialogue to promote Grenada-Qatar relations, which focus on technical assistance and training in aviation and other areas that can further enhance transportation and ports of entry. The Minister for Transport also pledged 3 fully funded aviation scholarships to Grenadian students in any of the 10 specialized fields, including airport operations, meteorological services, air traffic control, and engineering. During his visit to Qatar, Prime Minister Mitchell also met with the acting president and acting director of the President's office to discuss general matters regarding civil aviation. The acting president solicited the Prime Minister's support in encouraging other Caribbean countries to sign on to the agreement as they seek to expand their partnerships. Moving along, a decision to merge the launch of the Grenada's 50th Independence Anniversary celebration with those in observance of October 19th have been reversed, following concerns that the two occasions are different and should be treated as such. The announcement was made by Chair of the National Organizing Committee, Dr. Wendy Crawford, during a press conference on Wednesday. A decision was initially taken to launch the island's 50th Independence Anniversary celebrations on October 19th, a date also significant in Grenada's history. Dr. Crawford says the activities planned for October 19th will remain. However, the launch of independence activities will be held on October 31st.
We have also carefully considered the concerns raised by members of our community concerning the decision to merge the Independence launch with the events of October the 19th. Some have voiced reservations about this twinning and respectfully requested a reconsideration of this approach. In response to these concerns, the National Organizing Committee convened with various members of the public to listen to their perspectives. We took their recommendations to the Prime Minister and his cabinet, who, in a demonstration of leadership, wisdom, and a commitment to fostering national unity, have agreed to separate the two events.
Chairperson of the National Celebrations Committee, Jackie Alexis, outlined the activities planned for October 19th, which include a candlelight vigil and ceremonial wreath laying.
The day will commence at 9 a.m. with an ecumenical mass service at the National Stadium, and that would be accompanied by some speeches, some remarks by government officials, participation by family members of the 19 victims, and also some respectful cultural presentations. It will also include laying of wreath up at the fort. Now, everybody knows the fort is currently off limits because of work that's taking place up there. So a small group of persons will be enabled to go to the fort to lay their wreaths and then end with that. At 1 p.m. there will be a tolling of the bells across the country. Church bells will ring out, and that will be followed by a moment's silence, a minute of silence. And then later in the day, at 7 p.m., the nation is invited to join us on the carriage for a candlelight gathering.
Orlando Romain, member of the National Organizing Committee, said consultations will be held soon to finalize the selection process for national heroes and the spot to construct a National Heroes Park.
We will also start the process of consultations for establishing or deciding upon persons who will be named national heroes. It will be an open consultative process, so every Grenadian will have the opportunity to weigh in on that conversation as we decide on the persons who will be named national heroes. We do have a committee who is working out the criteria for that, and we will be guided by their recommendations. Additionally, in the coming months, we will start the process of exploring the selection spot for the National Heroes Park. We have a few options in mind, and come next year, that park will be open, which would house monuments in commemoration to those who have lost their lives on the fort and other heroes. So National Heroes Day will be known not just for those on the 19th, but all heroes of our country and of our history from the years gone to recent.
This is the Government Week in Review. When we come back, candidates of the new low-income houses required to secure loan for purchase.
Climate change is real, bringing hotter days and less rain. Less rain means less water, so it's crucial for us to conserve water at home. When washing my vehicle, I use a bucket with rainwater that I have stored. This is how I save water. What are you waiting for?
Welcome back. The Housing Authority of Grenada, HAG, has identified a new procedure for the distribution of the second phase of the China Grenada low-income houses. During a press conference facilitated by management of the Housing Authority, Chairman Hugh Thomas said the value of the houses has increased as a result of upgrade, and therefore candidates will be required to acquire a loan to obtain the houses. The authority has been contacting the successful candidates following a thorough vetting process.
We are asking people to do one of two things. Come, if you have the full amount, you could come to the Housing Authority and buy it straight from the Housing Authority. If you don't, then you will need a loan from any of the financial institutions. The Housing Authority of Grenada contacted the financial institutions before, and they are on board, and they're eager and they're willing. They are going to be offering loans. We had suggested at 3%, and it will go from maybe between 3 and 5%. But we really got the assurance from some that they would stick to the 3%. The cost of a single one-bedroom unit is $55,000, and the cost of a single two-bedroom unit is $73,000.
A one-bedroom unit is being sold for $55,000, while the market price is $141,251, and a two-bedroom unit is being sold for $73,000. However, the market price is $204,734. Mr. Thomas said government has given an additional 5% markdown for the cost of the houses.
Although the apartment is they are paying $55,000 and $73,000, it has been marked down by 55%. The government has marked it down by 55%. In the previous phase one, the information getting to us is that it was marked down by 50%. So the government has marked it down even further, and from what we have seen inside the apartment, it is actually built better. For instance, there is a concrete roof on top of the buildings, and on top of the concrete roofs you have the alu zinc. And there are many other features.
Accountant at the Housing Authority, Giselle Blackman-Charles, explains that the authority will host viewing of the units for the prospective homeowners starting on Friday, October 20th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Corinth, St. David.
The authority will be required to install Homeowners Association by January of 2024. We will manage the security, repairs, and maintenance of the sites for the first 3 years. For a period not exceeding 2 years, any naturally occurring plumbing, electrical faults, mold, fungus, pop tiles occurring inside any unit shall be the expense of the Housing Authority. The authority will be setting up a secretariat at each site to handle all questions and accommodate site visits during this transition process.
Viewing for the units in the Villa St. Patrick and Diamond St. Mark will take place on Tuesday, October 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and at Bushejou St. George on Friday, October 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Government has handed over the first indoor bathroom facility that was recently completed under its WASH initiative, being piloted in the community of Bay Lyle, St. David. The Water Access and Sanitation in Homes program is geared towards ensuring every household in Grenada has access to clean water and sanitation facilities by 2027. Close to 10,000 households throughout the country are earmarked to benefit from the initiative. The community-focused program engages community members with the requisite skills to transform households in need. Parliamentary Representative and Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell told the gathering at the Baylal Community Center during the launch that the program, although piloted in St. David, is intended to be a national initiative that will foster community togetherness throughout Grenada.
This program will not happen and it will not be successful if the residents of the communities themselves do not back, support, and get involved in these programs. It is your homes, it is your children, it is your parents, it is your brothers and sisters who are going to be impacted by this program. And so when Mr. Whiteman signaled the needs for us to put aside our differences, put aside our gripes, and ensure that we unite to make this a success, that really is the key message that we want coming out of this. We want the community of Baylal to be more united, stronger, improved, and a better community now and in the future coming out of this program. So it's not just about the concrete, it is not just about the tiles, the shower curtains, the toilet. It's about you, the citizens, and making sure that as a community you recognize that together you can improve your collective well-being. And this is important because we have, unfortunately in the past, politicized and tribalized basic access to things that are important to all of us. Someone should not have to pick whether this house gets a bathroom or that house gets a bathroom based on who they perceive you voted for. Someone shouldn't have to pick whether your house would be repaired or a window provided if you can't afford it based on who you voted for or who you supported. And that is precisely when, despite the pressure to go immediately and to try and fix a house there or provide one bathroom here or a bathroom there, I said, no. If we are going to fix, we should try and fix everybody.
Coordinator of the program, Ken Whiteman, explained that the movement of the program is aligned with the completion of community centers in various parishes.
The process involved is a pretty detailed one, and we properly documenting the process because we know from Baylal, which is the pilot project, we will spread out to the other communities in the parish, firstly with emphasis on the communities that finishes the community centers. So we're linking the community center culmination with that of the introduction of the WASH project. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Prime Minister, I believe that we've completed the community center in Beirut this week. So congratulations to persons who would have implemented that project in Beirut. So I would like to encourage the communities in line. It's not too early to access the documentation and the processes that were implemented and that are being implemented in Baylal.
St. Lucia's Prime Minister Philip Pear commended the Deacon Mitchell-led administration for its vision to realize social progress and sustainable development. He assured that St. Lucia will model the initiative to improve the standard of living of thousands of residents throughout the country.
So I want to tell you, I'm going to copy it. In fact, only last week, I mandated the Water and Sewage Authority in my country to do a survey on a part of my constituency where I want to put in a sewage facility. So I'm going to fast track it, I'm going to copy it. Because when I invite Deacon to St. Lucia, I don't want him to cut style on me, you know what I mean? So I want to compliment, and what is even more, which is better, is the fact that you have the community involved. A community involved without the cut and thrust of politics. We are in the game we're in politics. Sometimes people think it's a combat sport. But it ought not to be a combat sport. It ought to be a sport where each one of us try to improve the lives of the people that we represent. So I'm happy that it's apolitical. I feel pleased that we have the community here. I feel even happier that the people are concerned.
WASH is a pilot project under the government's Nation Builders Initiative, which seeks to break down bureaucratic barriers for Grenadians at home and those living in the diaspora who are willing to provide assistance. Representatives of credit unions from throughout the OECS are wrapping up their 16th summit in Grenada this weekend, which focused on topics like compliance, culture, young members, and the future of the credit union movement and strategic growth prospects. The summit, which was last held in Grenada in 2011, was guided by the theme Credit Unions, Bolder Actions, Bigger Value, Brighter Tomorrow. Speaking in his capacity as acting Prime Minister during the opening ceremony this week, Honorable Andy Williams applauded the credit unions for their commitment, which he said aligns with the trust of the administration to transform the economy through bold action.
Credit unions in the OECS have also displayed the ability to change and adapt to technological, economic, and social environment. With the broadening of the membership, the savings channel through credit union in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union has been increasing. This was manifested in the record of total deposits of approximately $3.8 billion and a total assets of approximately $5 billion for 2022. With these financial assets, credit unions carried a loan portfolio of approximately $3.1 billion, which had allocations to all sectors of the economy.
President of the Grenada Cooperative Credit Union League, Randy Boyk, says the 16th summit comes at an interesting point in our history that began when our foreparents dared to reach beyond in their quest for economic empowerment.
Today, under the theme, Credit Unions, Bolder Actions, Bigger Value, Brighter Tomorrow, that journey, marked by imprints, has taken us from the plantation to the 16th OECS Summit here at Gateway Center on Grenadian soil. Here is a boast. At the end of 2022, total assets of the OECS credit unions amounted to approximately $5.1 billion. Clap if you're clapping. $5.1 billion, or 43% of the combined GDP of the ECCU countries. My friends, this is a commendable feat, and we should all feel proud of that achievement. Yes, this is testimony that the credit union movement in the OECS continues not only to be striving or thriving well, but is growing astronomically in influence, purpose, and importance.
Phoenix Belfield, General Manager of Dominica Cooperative Societies League Limited, who also holds the position of Chair of the OECS League's Working Group, says the theme illustrates that the challenges faced by credit unions across the region are not insurmountable.
For us, it's a monumentous occasion because having the opportunity to meet in a single space as the OECS reignites our passion to serve our credit union. It's helped us to forge ahead with strategies that would help us to deliver on our future mandates. But more importantly, it helps us to future-proof our credit union movement. And this is what is really important for us. It is not another opportunity for us to not only enjoy in the social gathering, but it's a way for us to safeguard the history of our 60-plus years of existence and to make it more relevant to those who are going to come for us for the next 60-plus.
President of the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions, Hallie Haynes, says members should keep in mind that one of the main objectives of the 16th OECS Summit is to bring credit unions together to form solutions for the Caribbean and OECS. Mr. Haynes says the OECS region is very important to the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions.
You, as at December 2022, you had some $2.2 billion, US billion dollars on the assets. That is indeed a great achievement. Give yourself a round of applause. That represents 22.6% of all the assets, total assets of the credit union movement in the Caribbean. But more importantly, your membership was about 465,000 members, which represents really a large proportion of persons in the Caribbean. And I say that to the Caribbean governments. The reality is that our credit union system represents the majority of our members in the credit union movement across Barbados and across the region. And therefore, you are not fledgling institutions anymore. We are important institutions. And therefore, the message must be sent to governments and other actors that we are here to play an important role in the development of our countries in the region.
This is the Government Week in Review. Still to come, Grenadian educators participating in OECS program for educational advancement.
Climate change is real, bringing hotter days and less rain. Less rain means less water, so it is crucial for all of us to conserve water at home. When washing my fruits and vegetables, I use a bowl of water, and later I reuse it to water my plants. This is how I save water at home. What are you waiting for?
Welcome back. 31 principals, vice principals, and senior teachers of primary, pre-primary, and special education schools are participating in a course sponsored by the OECS Program for Educational Advancement and Relevant Learning, OECS Pearl. The course, being facilitated by the University of the West Indies, began with 3 days of face-to-face sessions on September 26 to 28. The aim is to equip the participants with the skills to be impactful school leaders, which will directly affect the performance of teachers and ultimately the students. 19 leaders who underwent training 5 years ago will now act as mentors to the 31 as the course continues online. The training is taking place simultaneously in the 4 OECS Pearl territories: St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Dominica, and Grenada. The Organization of Eastern Caribbean States Program for Educational Advancement and Relevant Learning, OECS Pearl, is a 4-year program that seeks to advance increased access and improve student learning in basic education. It is funded by the Global Partnership for Education, GPE. Sorana Mitchell has the details.
Principals, vice principals, and senior teachers from some of the nation's primary, pre-primary, and special education schools spent 3 days learning how to be better leaders.
The past 3 days have highlighted to me the importance of leadership and developing leadership skill, as well as the amount of difficulty and the tediousness of leading a school, and the need for principals to continue to grow and develop new skills to face those challenges.
So I'm living here knowing that as a leader, I can't do it all myself, but I have to know the strengths of the persons that I work with and give them tasks and duties that align towards their strengths.
It's a wealth of knowledge. I would have to sit down and digest it completely. But of course, I see that the skills and some of the theories that is presented could be applicable in my school for the overall development of my school and students' performance.
One thing that stood out the most?
That the linkage between children performance and leadership generally is how well the teachers operate and the school culture.
These sessions, which were held at the Trade Center Annex, are sponsored by the OECS Program for Educational Advancement and Relevant Learning, OECS Pearl. Although the 3-day session was held face-to-face, the remainder of the course will be taught online. Education specialist attached to the University of the West Indies, Dr. Marcia Stewart, facilitated the sessions held on September 26 to 28.
You know, the literature has shown more and more that leadership in schools is a critical part of school success. It's not just the teachers. If the teachers are not, does not have somebody helping them to grow, making sure that there's some structure and vision for the institution, then, no cohesion means no success. So it's recognized that the principal is next to teaching. Principals and leadership in the school is the next most important thing in achieving high-performing schools.
Deputy Chief Education Officer for School Administration and the focal point in Grenada for the OECS Pearl Leadership Component, Kathy James, says the focus is building the capacity of the nation's school leaders.
As part of the OECS Pearl Leadership Component, the vision is for us to develop quality leadership and teacher training. And our aim is to ensure that every student succeed. So in order for us to ensure every student succeed, we have to develop the leadership capacity within our school system. So this course is geared about equipping school leaders to be more accountable, to be transformational in their thinking and in what they do, and also the quality, to improve the quality of instruction that would be in our schools.
Of the 40 participants, 31 are new and 19 will be mentors chosen from the first cohort who completed the course between 2018 to 2019. Principal of Blessed Sacrament Catholic, Henva Simeon, shares how the course aided her as a new principal when she took office 5 years ago.
As I started off as a new principal, I was doing the course. And so as I was learning whatever new ideas and so based on leadership, I was able to apply it as I moved along in my daily duties.
The training is taking place in the 4 OECS Pearl territories, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Dominica, and Grenada simultaneously. The course is scheduled to come to an end in March 2024. The OECS Pearl is a 4-year program that seeks to advance increased access and improved student learning in basic education. It is funded by the GPE, Global Partnership for Education. Sarana Mitchell reporting.
Through the launch of the Artificial Insemination Program, the Ministry of Agriculture aims to enhance the cattle breeding stock on the island and improve beef quality over the next 5 years. This is part of the livestock component of the Food Security Enhancement Project, funded by the World Bank. Details in this report.
The program officially commenced on Wednesday with the administration of hormones to 4 heifers in the parish of St. Andrew. Chief Veterinary and Livestock Officer Dr. Kimont Cummins explained that this program, supported by funding in excess of $100,000, introduces new genetics from Texas, USA into Grenada's genetic pool, leading to the birth of superior breed offspring. The ministry has already acquired 1,100 straws of semen for this endeavor. Dr. Cummins clarified that instead of relying on natural heat cycles, the program utilizes estrous synchronization, a hormone-based technique to control the reproductive cycles of the animals.
The semen that we will be using is from a breed called the Santa Gertrudis. So they're selected for a very low butt weight, right, which is very good for our cow because our cattle are kind of small framed. Right, so we expect very little butting difficulties, right? But the good thing about these calves here, the growth rate is very accelerated. So we expect a very feed to meat conversion ratio. They have very good quality carcasses. Good reproductive statistics as well. So, and they're selected for meat. So it's not really a dual purpose per se. It's a good meat cattle. So we expect good quality beef. Well, not in the short term, but once the plan is a 5-year trajectory period with continued AI, with some of the F1s that we have now, the hybrid, to get us to a point where we have at least about 80, 89, 90% of the genetics. So we have some good quality cattle that we would start seeing some good quality carcasses.
Although the program commenced in St. Andrew, Dr. Cummins welcomed participation from all cattle farmers.
The AI is open to all cattle farmers. We're just asking for them to be registered, right? And there is a short list. There's a short list of the requirements that we asking. Being able to properly attend to the animals, have land space, transportation, maybe may not, right? Transportation is optional, but if you don't have large expanse of land, you must have a way that you could transport feed. So, transportation is also critical, although it's optional, right? We're asking for most of the farmers to be registered, right? The animals has to be tagged. There's a memorandum of understanding that we want the farmers must agree upon or sign off on with the ministry. The animals must be in good health, right? They must be properly dewormed and vaccinated, and so we could, expect some good quality, strong, healthy calves in the next 9 to 10 months.
Dr. Cummins expressed confidence that the ministry will continue the artificial insemination program until cattle production reaches a satisfactory level, enabling the use of locally sourced bulls in the breeding program.
Thank you, Karima. We take our final break. Still to come, more than 200 enumerators involved in agriculture census.
Your new GrenLec bill is even easier to read and still has all the valuable information you need to track and manage your usage.
Hey Mom, okay, your friendly tech support is here. So you got the new GrenLec bill? Let's take a look. The new bill makes it even easier to see your bill total, the due date, and much more. And take a closer look. It actually is a lot easier to understand. Let me show you. You can still see exactly what the charges are for, but in a great new format, it even shows how the cost of generating and delivering the electricity to you is calculated using your actual usage. Anyway, look who says hi, and see you soon.
Your new GrenLec bill, easier to understand and easier to track your usage.
Welcome back. The 2023 Agricultural Census was started this week by the Ministry of Agriculture and the Central Statistical Office as they seek to gather pertinent information that can help to move the agriculture sector forward. We get more details in this report.
More than 200 enumerators have been dispatched across the island to collect agricultural data that will play a crucial role in decision-making processes as the 2023 Agricultural Census gets underway this week. This comprehensive initiative, which was last conducted in 2012, serves as the primary tool for improving our understanding of Grenada's agricultural landscape in 2023. Enumerators, who will be covering various enumeration districts, are tasked with conducting interviews with every household engaged in agricultural activities. They will assess criteria such as livestock ownership, the presence of goats, sheep or pigs, permanent crop cultivation, land tenure, and annual income. The information collected will provide valuable insights into aspects like land holdings, crop diversity, livestock inventory, record-keeping practices, and production. Laverne Mapp, the coordinator for the 2023 Agricultural Census, emphasized the significance of this undertaking.
For this census, we'll be doing a complete enumeration. That means the enumerators will be going to each household. The country has been split up into what we call EDs. Okay, so this is an area that has between 100 and 150 households. So each enumerator would have a specific area to go to interview all the households in that area. This is important for decision making, first of all, to give us an idea of where our agriculture sector is at this point in time. Also, it will give us information to help us when we're doing programs and projects with international and regional agencies, because a lot of times they ask for information that we don't have. So the census will be a good place for providing that kind of information for them.
MAP outlines how the collected data can be employed to the advantage of farmers.
The data would be collated, aggregated, and we would have a report on the different sectors that was collected, numbers by parishes, by amount of land, etc. And this information will be used to help us answer some of the SDG questions and for other programs and projects. From the census, we'll be able to know which farmers grow what. For example, there may be a training on sweet potato or yams. We can get a list of the farmers who are doing the sweet potato and yams and bring them together. That way, they will be able to know who is doing the same crops as them and share information. That's one way they can benefit. Also, when we have projects or programs, especially international and regional ones, they would also be able to benefit because they are part of the database.
The 2023 Agricultural Census is being financed to the tune of $1 million EC and will run from September to December.
Thank you, Karima. Young individuals residing in the parish of St. Mark and St. John will have a valuable opportunity to enhance their employable skills this weekend. The Division of Youth, operating under the Ministry of Education, Youth, Sports and Culture, is conducting a series of workshops focused on crafting effective CVs, composing compelling cover letters, and mastering job interviews. Eugenia Peters has the details in this report.
A CV or curriculum vitae is a vital document showcasing your skills, strengths, qualifications, and experience when seeking employment. Employers not only request a CV, but they also expect it to exude professionalism. Consider it as your introduction to the professional world, a portrayal of one of your most remarkable and employable individuals.
The Job Preparedness Workshop is an extensive skills training program tailored for young individuals aged 16 to 35 within the designated community. The program comprises both theoretical and hands-on sessions focused on curriculum vitae writing, cover letter composition, and job interview strategies. At the end, the program participants are offered support in finalizing the cover letters and CVs, along with sharing opportunities for potential job placements. The primary objective of this program is to furnish participants with indispensable pre-employment skills, equipping them to seize opportunities in today's competitive job market. Enthusiastic feedback from attendees thus far attests to the value of this one-day training workshop.
Overall, I would say that the workshop was a well-detailed workshop. It is very important because we may know how to do certain things, but the skills in doing it and how to do it properly, I took away that from this workshop, and it was very helpful. What stood out the most was the cover letter, because that is where I had trouble in the past. But now, learning from what the instructor told us, I could see myself better in that in the future.
I think that today's session was very informative. I like the fact that it was very hands-on, very practical, and it would have also helped with what I would have already known, so it would have put a lot into practice as well. And it would have also helped me to improve on what I already know as well.
So basically, I've learned a lot, but mostly I've done in school. It was just a reminder for me, and it was good. I enjoyed it, and I hope all those who participated learned from it and will take it into consideration at their job interviews.
I would say this workshop was really impressive. It taught me a lot. It helped me to improve on my cover letter writing and improve my CV. It also taught me how to do interview because I never did an interview before. So everything was really informative. It was well formatted and the information was very simple.
It was a great workshop. I learned a lot of things, like to write a proper CV, cover letter, and the different type of dress code used for the interviews and stuff. It helped me a lot because there are certain areas I kind of lacked in, and as to put in the information, the necessary information needed there.
The upcoming workshop dates are St. Mark and St. John, Saturday 7th October, St. Andrew, Saturday 21st October, and St. David Parish, Saturday 4th November. Interested individuals are encouraged to monitor the Division of Youth's social media channels and the Government Information Service for registration details and additional workshop information, or call 440-6917, extension 22019 during the hours of 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. From the Division of Youth, I am Communications Officer Eugenia Peters.
And finally, in the news, athletes from across the island will converge at the Telescope playing field in St. Andrew on Saturday, October 7th, for the start of the 2023 National Cross Country Championships. 3 preliminary races will be held to be followed by the final. Senior athletic coach in the ministry, Albert Joseph, says the event will be followed by the second preliminary next week.
The next one, that's the 7th. The next one will be at Lassages on the 14th. The third one, we have a series of 3 preliminary ones, and the third one is at Tantin on the 21st.
Races will be contested in 2 divisions, male and female. The age categories with distances are as follows: 3K on the 15 female and male, 4K on the 17 female and male, and 4K 17 plus female and male.
We hope to start each one at 3 o'clock, so we have organized buses that will leave various venues from 1 o'clock, so they have 2 hours to get to SAS playing field, where we will do registration, and after registration start by 3 o'clock. So normally the run up that side would take about 30 to 40 minutes to complete. We hope to start at 3, and it's open to anybody, schools, clubs, unattached people, etc.
The event seeks to provide an avenue for distant athletes to compete in the cross-country event, to develop distance running, to promote the championship and cross-country running throughout the Tri-Island. Points will be awarded to each team. Following the preliminary round of competition, finalists will be required to register online using the platform carriacou.com. The winners will be announced after the results are finalized for each race. And with that, we come to the end of the Government Week in Review for October 6th. I am Sharian Noel, thanking you for viewing.